Hello and welcome to the first episode of our new series, Internet of Terms. I'm Royi from the Google Developer Experts program, and this episode is called IO What? In this series, I plan to focus on one overused buzzword at a time and will try to provide the basic knowledge that will allow you to phrase drop it in a more correct way. As fitting to the series name, I'll start with the Internet of Things, or IoT. So what is on the agenda for today? Understanding what the term IoT refers to, knowing what its major applications are, what are the building blocks in the field, who are the key players which are important for developers to know, what notable products and case studies are already in the field, and insights if we have any to spare. So let's get started. What's the definition of the term? Well, it refers to taking an everyday dumb object and appliance, like a bus or a refrigerator or a watch or a bus stop, adding sensors and some sort of processing unit to do some analyzing, as well as intelligent decision-making algorithms, either for providing suggestions and alerts or actually acting autonomously, and internet, so that these things will connect to the cloud and with each other. And there you go, a solid definition that will keep you out of stuttering next time you're called on your phrase-dropping ways. But what is it used for? Well, many of these areas you are already familiar with. They are mostly containing the word smart. Smart city, smart home, UAV, and wearables are perfect examples. There are obviously more fields, but patterns are starting to emerge. Products are creating from different fields by changing the usages of the same building blocks, which we'll address now. Physical web is a means in which you can access contextual virtual data regarding a physical site only when you're physically there. Good examples will be ETA information on location of your next bus when you arrive at the bus station, tourist information including multimedia which will pop up when you reach the particular site. Smart metering refers to existence of sensors on the things as well as the aggregation and analysis of the sensory data, for example, GPS data on a moving bus, growth patterns in a field from an IR video taken from a drone, vital signs monitoring for athletes as well as the elderly from wearables. Information without processing is useless, so a big part of these products is to process all that sensory information to either provide suggestions and alerts or act autonomously. So GPS data from the bus and the bus stop and other IoT devices will give you accurate ETAs. Growth patterns from the drone will give suggestions to the farmer or working orders to driverless farm equipment. And if your vitals information are not right and you're not moving correctly, that might mean you're in trouble. So calling for help is a very viable option. Okay, I think you got it by now. But where do I start? What's out there? Google released a few good products, first of which is Brillo, which is an embedded OS for IoT devices like Android was for phones and is for phones. It has hardware reference designs for OEMs, as well as hardware abstraction layer to help integrating new hardware into Brillo. It has a sturdy OTA mechanism for firmware updates as well. Weave is another great product, and it's usually confused with Brillo, but it's essentially a communication API and platform for Brillo devices to communicate with the cloud and each other. Beacons are also lost in the mix, but they're actually a whole different animal. They're merely an implementation of physical web, which could be picked up from an X amount of meters around them, hence beacons, in a variety of protocols. They come with an API and a few reference designs, mostly with Eddystone. Nest, which is a product company which was purchased by Google, produces consumer-based products and kits for end users and provides an SDK for app developers. Eddystone, which we mentioned earlier, is simply a Bluetooth BLE implementation for low-power, long-lasting, medium-range beacon-like products. Samsung's offering starts with Audic, not the Hebrew word for popsicle, but rather a collection of chips and SoCs for IoT with a variety of sensors, storage, and power consumption grades for many uses. Sammy is a bit higher up the stack, providing firmware and app development SDKs, as well as a communication protocol and platform to connect between the devices and with the cloud. It's essentially Samsung embedded OS for IoT. SmartThings is a product company purchased by Samsung, providing consumer-grade IoT kits and devices for end users, as well as an SDK for app developers. Okay, that's all we have time for right now. Please join us next week for another show, and next month for another episode of this show. Thank you all. I hope you liked it.